up here? I mean, I'm just trying to figure that out, because when I addressed that with him, that's the reason why he did spray foam retaining wall at his house. Because his retaining wall was falling into the city street, and I asked him if he signed it himself.
Yeah, he did.
So did he get a permit? You like asking for permits on everything.
It's a repair, it's not a new one. When I put the new wall in, I get
Oh,
the
but it's an
permit.
It's an
alteration.
alteration.
It's not an alteration, it's a repair.
It is a alteration.
So I mean, it's a very, just, that's part of my question on who gets to play dictator on the water, because when you hire somebody that gets to play dictator on a weed issue, or a brush issue, or a rock out of place, if he's the same one that gets to say, well, your water gets turned off now, are you willing to,
No, that would be the council decision.
okay, well, but you already said that you didn't involve them with the letters.
No. That first one, they did not. That is true.
Okay, well, so
But
you've
for
already
that
stated
one-
that there's some things that don't matter. Right?
Seems to be a redundant position.
I don't know how
Okay.
you're
So doesn't the
Henry, you're not gonna yell over me. Henry, what else do you need?
What? The only other thing for Mr. DeMoss would be number 4 on the paper. That hasn't been addressed.
What are you talking about? The
People living in the trailers
And I addressed that a
and.
month and a half ago, and I told you to go pound sand. And exactly what I said.
Well-
You cannot take and force people
Okay, so
out
that's your
onto the
answer.
street.
Mr. DeMoss, that's your answer?
That's my answer.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, you can't, I addressed the council with it, you can't force people into homelessness.
Okay.
Okay, so can I just say one thing? I feel sorry for Henry because he was hired into this position because the mayor didn't want to act on enforcing these codes, so let's not necessarily like attack him for it. Because he was hired into a position that clearly in other towns like mayors and time before when we had every other mayor, they enforce and have the ability to enforce codes and regulations. So maybe don't like take it out on him personally because he's just acting for her.
I can
He
put it
doesn't
down.
selectively.
Okay, she's just making a comment, okay? She's making a comment. There you go.
That's responsible, if that makes sense.
Make sure you put pounds in the notes.
Yeah. Henry, is there anything else?
Well, I guess we will table that one for now, since Mr. DeMoss is
There's
going to work on
gonna be
it.
progress.
Okay, the last is the list of houses that have been sent a courtesy letter stating that they haven't replied to any of the previous enforcement letters. Okay, and these letters were sent out, and the people have until September 12th to reply to us, to tell us what they're gonna do. And if they don't, then you, as a council, have the ability to write out civil infractions notice to abate at that time. And then they have time to reply, go to a hearing, why or why not, or the town can do a resolution, depending on what the town attorney wants to do. I mean, all I'm trying to do is clean the junkyards up that are all throughout the town. You know, improve everybody else's property values.
You're not gonna improve these property values by getting rid of some cars, dude. And
Well,
you're calling
another
out,
junk.
Excuse me,
vehicles every
excuse
fucking
me,
one you
excuse
have.
me. Hey, your language.
Needs to
Oh,
be
my
cleaned
God.
up.
What do you mean?
Who the city attorney would be?
I didn't hear what you first said.
Can I ask who the city attorney is? Or
Yes,
is that
it's-
public knowledge?
Yeah, it's Larson Fowles,
Okay.
Mitchell Heaps.
but you don't, he's not gonna answer your phone call, so.
Yeah, no, I don't want to call, no.
Okay.
I don't want to.
So, Henry, is there anything else with these others?
Well, the first two,
Okay,
you know, are at the attorney's, and he will tell us what to do, and maybe we'll have a reply by the next council meeting. That's all. That was just information on the ones that you've already signed.
mumble, we can't hear. Sorry, Henry. Okay, council, do you have any questions? Okay.
Not on those. Not on that subject.
Okay, moving on, new business, Diane Kennedy. Okay, council, she's asking, or requesting the town of Lynn to allow her to hold an event called Adams County Harvest Festival, which is a celebration for the farmers of Adams County. And, for the new council members, the reason why the date is like this far ahead is the previous, she was caught between a time crunch of getting things approved. So that's why she's turning it in this time. So the date I would like permission for is October 7th of 2023. The events will consist of vendors. I want to try a parade, a bed race, where towns in Adams County compete against each other, a band, and a beer garden. She says that I have Forrest Lee Jr. flying up from Nashville to do the beer garden show for me. All I am asking is for your approval to have the festival, so I can start planning it. I will inform the council of my progress. I already have a special permit for the beer garden on hold from canceling the event because of COVID. Thank you, Diane Kennedy. So council, I'm assuming that she's gonna have to provide the same listing of, insurance proof, liquor license, whatever employees, bartender license. Security? The street barricade, security, enforcing, I wrote down enforcing personnel. And do you want to give her back a deadline to get back to you?
Okay, we're talking about October 7th of next year.
Yeah, she's talking over a year away, so.
I understand that. Last time we had a problem because she wasn't able to get all her ducks in a row, so to speak. But we did get it done. With the caveat that, she provides the, crippled insurance and the other things that I mentioned, I would suggest at this time that, prior to the end of this year, which gives her 4 months.
Okay.
If that's agreeable with everybody else on the council. Just, let her know, that those things in place, go for it.
Okay. Do you want to give her advanced permission before that or after she brings this?
Well,
Stipulation that
if
everything
she's
is
able
in
to
place.
comply with the majority of it, especially the, insurance
Okay.
and the, security and all the other portions of it, we certainly can give her a go-ahead with those in place.
Okay, Barbara can tell her that tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay, item B is resolution 2208, salaries. Barbara. Oh, wait,
Resolution 2208 is Brendan's dollar raise for spray lessons. Brandon
Yep.
does spray lessons.
Good.
yep. So what, if you'll notice that it says, be active starting September 1st. Okay, and, Barbara has already, put in the dollar that's been agreed on with, councils. Has to be approved.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Any second?
Okay, it's moved and seconded to, approve the resolution 2208 for, beginning September 1st, 2022 for the, spray license dollar raise. Item C, employee anniversaries and raises, another pink sheet. What? Oh, I'm sorry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Okay, now motion carries. My boo-boo. Another pink sheet. And I'm gonna hand it over to Barbara.
Back in June, I sent you guys information, relating to, employment hire dates and, public hearing minutes from November 23rd, as well as, public hearing minutes. It's on the back of your pink sheet, the employee hire dates. Back in, December 7th, 2021, and November 23rd, 2021, the previous council discussed employee raises in the 2022 budget. I gave you copies of those minutes, pertaining to the raises for employees. I gave you a notice on August 2nd stating that that information had been given to you in June, and that the employees were passing their anniversary dates, and questions were going to be asked about said raises. The discussion back in the discussions for the 22 budget were that raises, there was discussion about raises being based on merit versus job performance. And it was decided that raises would be, a 1% raise would be given in January for cost of living, and then possible up to 2% raises could be given on the anniversary date of hire, depending on job performance. Everybody, Cagney, Stephen, and myself have all passed our hire dates between June and August. And so, I was giving you the information in the hopes that you would discuss the possibility of employee raises. And decide on the possibility of employee raises.
This time, I believe, since it's past time.
Sorry, could you speak up? Sorry.
Sorry?
Can't hear you.
Okay, sorry. I remember when we passed that, and I believe that at this point in time, since they are all past their, anniversary dates, that we, give them the 2% raise that we discussed, previously. Because I have seen all three employees for it, and they are, their performance has been in excess of their current records, so I see no reason not to, grant them all a 2% raise, which was budgeted in for this year.
This is on performance, Jim?
I'm sorry?
This is on performance, 2% raise?
Yes.
Is the public allowed to know the wages of them, or is that private?
The current wages is public knowledge. The hourly wage for the clerk is $15.15. Public Works #1 is $24.23. Public Works #2 is $17.17. And Public Works number 4, which is number 3, sorry, is 22, and he is not at this time. That is Brandon, he just went up to 22.
He went up to 23.
Sorry, yes, he went up to 23, with his dollar raise.
Can I ask what certifications with each one of those public, I guess, amounts they're getting? What is the certifications and what do they have to qualify for each position?
I have a list of certifications in the office, as that was a public records request given to me prior. I do not have that with me today, although I do know that Stephen received a dollar raise several months ago for his spray license. Both Stephen and Brandon is not part of the discussion at this time because he was hired in January. But they both have a list of certifications from prior jobs. Stephen is currently training with Joe Pasuti for water and sewer certifications. Cagney is training in other areas, and I believe she is currently seeking the spray license as well.
I just have a question. Isn't merit and performance the same thing?
Yeah. You wanna take that? That
Okay.
is a different definition.
Once upon a time, I proposed that, all employees be, rated on the merits. In other words, they have to show improvement and, disregarding the fact that they are, everybody gets a raise January 1st, okay? I wanted to do away with that and do it on merit. If you see this person is performing above the normal level and they're achieving success in, new training, then that would be the case.
So it goes for training.
Right.
Okay.
As they're ongoing, they get raises based on their, training and the merits of it. That didn't fly, so we went back to, performance. And that's where we are today.
And that is considered work done.
Work done and the level.
And the performance raises on their anniversary date.
That is correct.
Well, I'm against, I haven't seen any performance, to be honest with you. I look at this town, there's still a disgrace. I don't see the workers
Are
from
you
one day
wanting
to
to
the next, so,
do,
you know.
are you going to want to do this in executive session?
I don't think we're ready, personally. I just don't. I mean, this town is a disgrace. I mean, if you want a 2% raise, you have to earn it. And I don't honestly think that's been earned. I'm against it.
That's a statement. We have a hand up.
I have multiple people coming to me every month complaining about their utility bills. $19,000, $800, $500, $2,000. That doesn't seem like a very good job to me.
Decimal point accounting errors that disappeared.
All right, if there's issues, then maybe they need to come to the office and discuss that.
They do, and they don't get any, so we go to the state auditor, Paula.
Okay.
We know how much is Joe
We are not discussing anymore, thank you.
Excuse me, you can't just shut people down.
I didn't.
You
I
told
just
me you
said
weren't discussing
no.
anymore when she was trying to ask you a question.
I just had a question about the employees. Is Joe, the water lady, and Steve all employees? So what is their pay rate right now?
I don't have that information tonight because they're not part of the, what I was presenting to the council.
Can we do a public records request for that?
Yes.
Okay.
she said that she got $600 a month and Joe was $65 an hour. Have you changed Joe's rate, Paula? It was always 65 an hour. Have you changed his rate? Well, it would have been nice if you would have answered her question.
Sir?
I got a question. It was my, Jim, this kind of, it was my understanding when these employees were hired, they were supposed to be cross-trained. Why is it I only see one of them following Joe around constantly?
I don't know.
That's not cross-training if two of them are learning. London, is that cross-training?
No, from what I'm seeing, they're a disgrace, I'm sorry, that's my opinion. I'm not gonna keep on, because I'll be on all night.
Can I answer that? I have been being trained on some of the water meter stuff when I was first hired. The only reason that my training stopped where it did was because the office duties took over. I know that Brandon was trying to be cross-trained, but I interrupt some of that sometimes by needing him to do other things. So some of the cross-training does get interrupted. So I don't know if that answers your question or not, but other duties
My feeling is they should
interrupt.
be cross-trained in case one of them goes on vacation, the other one can step in to fill a void if needed.
And the clerk can't really do that, because it's a conflict of interest with the office.
I have a question about, you brought up training and reading meters and whatnot. So I had reached out to you guys, because it happened on 2 different occasions, and the last time was the time when I was getting a water from my cows and whatnot, and I had received a bill from you, remember, and I called down and asked, and it was on a meter reading, and my meter reading was for 300, but I don't have a meter. So how, do we have a glitch in the system? How can that happen? And you said I'll look into it, and obviously I didn't have a balance, but I was billed for $350 some with an actual meter reading that didn't even exist, because I don't have one.
Right, and I don't, the tank water, the tank water accounts were set up with meter readings. I don't know how, that was prior to my coming into the office. It has meter readings on there. I don't input
The tank water you
meter readings
pay,
to tank
you
water.
write down from by gallon to load, there is no meter down there.
Correct.
So how would I have a meter reading on that bill?
I don't know. It was set up that way before I took over the office.
But I've never had a meter reading when I've been getting buying water. I mean, that was like a complete out of, I guess, I'm wondering how that happens, because if I can get a incorrect meter reading, because I don't even have a meter, for a substantial dollar amount, could that be happening other places? I mean, that didn't just come out of thin air.
It did happen quite a bit when I took over office, yes, because I was learning how to do, especially with tank water. I did not know how tank water worked, and it took me several months I'm still learning tank water, to be honest. So, with tank water, it is an ongoing learning process. Bias is confusing at times, and,
Well, I get that you might be learning, but you don't actually get an actual meter reading for an individual and put it on a bill.
no, the bill automatically shows meter reading regardless of what account it is. The bill automatically has a meter reading on it.
So your farmers that you bill for the spray water and the fire department and whoever else goes down there and gets it, they have a meter reading on their bill as well?
Yes.
It's the size of your tank, times how many times that you filled up, times whatever the formula is for.
I've never had a meter reading on any of the other bills though.
I think what it is just where bias puts it in.
It's on every bill that goes out for.
Bias doesn't do that, it's put in manually. Bias doesn't put numbers in by itself.
No, it has meter reading, the words meter reading on every bill.
Yes, it does.
Okay,
So
that's what she's asking.
She got
The
a
numbers
number.
put in, I don't know how that happened.
So just
Back
double
then,
checking.
I would have to.
It
go
can
back
only
and look
happen
to find out.
manually, so.
I would have to go in and find out. that was back when I was.
I guess my concern would be is if that's happening to me, could it be happening to other people if there's incorrect meter readings coming through like that? Because it doesn't just obviously, appear. So
Right,
if I
correct.
don't even have a meter and I'm getting sent a bill with a meter reading on it, then I'm wondering if somebody else is getting an incorrect meter reading as well, and that's being added to their bill. If this is a glitch in the system, I mean, that's obviously something, and when you said meter readings, it reminded me of that, and that needs to be
And when
addressed.
people come into the office and say, hey, wait a minute, why is this so high? I look at it and fix it as necessary, or go back through their history and look at the meter readings to figure out what happened and fix it as necessary.
So who stuffs the bills?
And, on the bottom, if you're a tank water user, we've put in a memo that says so many tanks, whatever size your tank is, and so that's a double check for you. So hopefully watch for that if you, have gotten.
So who stuffs the bills?
I'm sorry, what?
Who stuffs the bills? Do you put them in the envelope?
It depends on the month, and they're double checked and triple checked. Sometimes Paula checks them, sometimes.
So how
Amy
do you
checks
miss a
them, sometimes-
$19,000 bill?
That was the very beginning of her,
No, that was 2 months ago.
oh, who was it?
I'm not gonna mention the name because they didn't want
We'll
to.
research that out.
Yeah, you research that.
Until you can tell me who it was, I can't tell you. if-
Well, they came down and you fixed it, so I know you already know.
So we just need to get.
Point being, the merit and the abilities are not there.
The,
Check your work.
anniversaries, is that still a discussion?
It's a motion, isn't it, Jim? Did you make a
No,
motion?
Yes, I did.
I thought so.
Okay, so who's seconded it?
Nobody seconded it.
Second.
Okay.
Okay, moved and seconded to,
Give it 2% raise.
2% raise for the anniversaries, right?
Mhm.
Okay. All
Do
in
you
favor,
agree
say
with
aye,
that?
Aye.
and all opposed? Motion carries.
So they got a 3% raise this year then? 1% in January and 2% now?
That's what the council had decided. Moving on, council, you've got kind of a half sheet, quarter sheet, whatever. It is the lift station update. And please note that it is, with the recent activities that we've had, it's a generator so that our lift station can stay operating if the power goes out. And, need council approval, and I might throw out there that, it may fit into FEMA eligibility.
Because
Because the fire,
didn't the power company, when that last, I'm going back to is they supplied us with a wheeled generator that they brought?
in order for us to keep, yeah, that was an emergency, hey, what can we do, blah, 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 yes. But this would be, our own.
Can I ask a question? Is this lift station done now, ready to go?
This-
So how much is
Well, it
the
has been
generator?
going.
No, that's right.
How much is the generator gonna cost the town?
Hopefully, with FEMA eligibility, nothing, it's, grand total with tax, no shipping charge, $3,760.80. So, council,
I make the motion, we go for it.
I second it.
okay, moved and seconded to, purchase the lift station generator, $3,760.80. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? And I'll let you know, motion carries, I'll let you know, with the FEMA, process. And it'll probably be next year before that information comes through.
Is this gonna be Just another question, is this gonna be on site down there?
No,
Good.
no,
Thank you.
got that covered already. Moving to, mayor's report, TIB Fifth Street Rehabilitation Project has started. The handicap accessible sidewalks with some, pavements. Notices were delivered to the Fifth Street residents last Friday, and it will probably, hopefully, only take 4 weeks. As of tonight, the inspector said that they were ahead schedule. So,
Oh, I got a question about that. So why are only residents that, where the construction is happening, why are they the only ones that are being notified and not the community? who
because they have to
children
park,
that drive
they
through?
have to park off of the street.
I understand
And so
that.
the company, the construction company has their barricades up, and so it's a detour.
So it's no embrace the whole thing.
So, returning to the agenda, finance committee,
All right.
I didn't find anything.
All right.
excuse
Excuse
me.
me. I'm trying to conduct business here, if you don't mind. Warrant check register dated, making a motion to pay warrant check register 8/9/2022 to 8/22/2022 in the amount of $11,919.64.
I second it.
Okay, moved and seconded to approve the, August 9th to August 22nd, 2022 warrant register for $11,919.64. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. Under outstanding invoices, I make a motion to approve the outstanding invoices dated 8/1/2022 to 8/19/2022 in the amount of $5,857.35.
I second it.
Moved and seconded to approve the pending, invoices for August 1st to August 19th in a dollar amount $5,857.35. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, probably you said your say.
Aye.
Okay, Mike?
I got out one of the main topics I was gonna wanna bring up earlier as far as adding the schools and stuff with water. And we, sounds like we got that deferred resolvement for now.
Nothing.
Myra? Mr. Dworshack?
Nothing.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Next.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Dramas, are you still wanting to be
Yeah,
top first?
I think I need to clarify a couple of things. Two of the council wasn't here whenever I brought the problem of the people living in a motorhome, a camp trailer, and a fifth wheel on my property. They are two of them are family members that they get a total of $841 a month, okay? If they have to move out, the third one, we addressed that, he's a friend who lost his wife here 4 years ago, and he needs to be with somebody just to protect him. He's a very, very wonderful person, but he just can't live, off on his own without some help. All of them, $841 a month, that's all they get, okay? Problem with moving them out is they can't go anyplace else. Where are you gonna find a place to take a what, a fifth, any of these, and be able to afford the rent on the property, the utility bills and stuff? So, that's a problem. Number one, if you do, react against them, I believe that now that it's even unconstitutional, because look at the other cities that have, you know, people living and not moving them out. I mean, look at Spokane, okay? And when I addressed the council some time ago with this, I made a mistake in a number. I said there was 4 people lost because of heat in Spokane. Correction, it was 19 that year. People lost their lives because they couldn't get out. They can get in, out of the heat. They got heat. I mean, when they need heat, they've got it up there. So
Some people lost in here pretty soon.
basically, if they're removed, you're making them homeless, and then you take on the responsibility for their lives, because you don't have a cooling center here like Spokane does, and you don't have a warming center here. We need, it's outdated, it needs to be squelched, done away with, and I would ask the council to take and do that. Okay? Oh, and another thing, I don't know who can answer me. When you fixed the water there at the corner where it was leaking?
Don't park on it.
Huh?
Don't park
Oh,
on
no,
it.
no. But there's a new meter on the corner. Whose meter is that?
I guess towns. Did you need a new meter?
No, I mean, mine's further on up the road. I wanna know what that meter was, and what's it doing there?
Oh.
What's it
You say
doing?
that's leaking, Gary?
Huh?
You say that's leaking?
No, not
No,
anymore.
it's-
You guys went up to fix it. It was leaking, you know, the people who bought down below us, put up a fence and punched a hole in it a year ago, and then it started leaking again, you know, I don't know how long ago, but there was water running around the edge of the fence on Jim's side.
Okay, Gary, can I interrupt you for a second?
Yes.
They did not punch a hole in that line. It is outside of their, property line, and there's no punctures delivered by them.
Okay,
It was discovered that it was a different kind of pipe. It was fixed. Now we don't have any more leakage.
okay.
Okay.
Like I say, I wanna know, you know, what does that meter on the corner accomplish?
Are you able to read it?
Am I able to read it? I haven't tried, you know, I imagine I can.
Okay, I understand,
Okay, well, what I'm asking is, you know, my meter before was like probably another maybe 50 feet up the road, okay?
Right.
And then it tied on to my line for my house. Is mine been eliminated and now it's clear down on the corner? Is this my new meter? If so, the town needs to put it back where it was, because anything past your meter becomes mine.
Right.
And I'm not gonna take that 50 feet,
We'll check it out.
okay? I would like to
Do
know.
you still have your meter?
There's something up there, but it's not in the hole where it was before. That's why I'm questioning this, okay? You need to find out what's going on. Like I say, if that's supposed to be my new meter, you need to put it back up where it belongs.
Okay, we'll check that out. Thank you, sir. Next on the list is Denise Sneed.
Well, I already talked to you about well 8, but, so in July, we got an additional 78,000 some odd dollars of COVID money. How come you haven't brought it up at any of the meetings to discuss it with council, and where did it go?
It's in the budget and it's not been, project designated yet.
And so why haven't you discussed it with council? And quite frankly, it's not in the budget, it's in the LGIP fund, which is a savings account, and that's not what you do with grant money.
Oh,
Why haven't you brought it up to council and the people that there's $78,000 of additional money?
well, what I'm thinking of, it is in the budget, but I'll research that out tomorrow for you.
What'd you call
I
that
already
fund?
called it's the Office of Financial Management, Paula, and they already told me they put it in the LGIP fund, the same as last year. So that's where it went last year, and you're telling me it's in the water fund last year. Did you make a transfer out of the LGIP fund? Nope.
Directly into the water fund, as far as I know. Kelsey Labus is, next on the list.
Mike actually covered a lot of what I was gonna talk about with schools, with the watering. So, you did say that they can water now at the fields and
Yes,
you did approve it,
yes, that's been approved, we just,
As long as we have water.
I have, so I'm the one, correct, have,
Yes.
get with somebody from the school on their watering schedules and their station and stuff, so. I'm assuming there's 3 of you right there that might be able to help me out with.
cause right now the kids can't even go outside, they just go in the gym and they can't be out on the field because the grass is
Right,
so
but
high.
as far as talking to who, you 3 could guide me as to who to talk to as far as getting the water schedule
And I'll show you what they were on.
and compare it to the old one and see.
You can call Mr. Vanderholm in the morning.
Okay.
Want his number?
No, I got it. Okay, was that it?
Yep. Thank you on behalf of the school and our community.
Cheryl Hosey?
I'm done. I
Okay.
did my interview.
Jamie Schmuck?
I'm addressing Myra Horton, council member, as pertains to how she attacked me at the last meeting, at the end of the meeting. I have documents, and I'll bring it to you, and I'm sure that you have it also, that prove that your little story about me being the mayor losing $11,000, the town didn't get anything for its $11,000, is wrong. It's right here in a memo from Department of Ecology, something was signed by Mayor Bell in 2018. The town was originally given a grant for the amount of sorry, I'm angry. $559,000. The town did not finish the project because we kept running into rock under the ground here. I know it's hard to imagine, but when you're trying to bury a huge vessel to hold all the stormwater underground and slowly release it instead of letting it run down through town, you have to find an area up in the top part of town. We found a lot of rocks, places that we could not do that. We tried to buy other pieces of land. We tried to do this project. This is like a $700,000 project that we got 90% grant for. So when the council was approached, when it was the end of the time to do the project and we could no longer find a place to do the rest of the project, it was after I was not mayor anymore. It was in 2018. There was a loan amount of $11,434. It was originally a loan amount of $98,000 to complete the project. If people want a copy of that, they are welcome to have it. It shows clearly that the $11,000 was done for planning. You can't get grant money and apply for a grant-funded project until you do planning. The town council agreed to do the planning. It was supposed to be $98,000 loan, and it only ended up being an $11,000 loan, which is at 2.25% interest. I find it really strange that the mayor hasn't figured out a way to pay that off. You don't let a little dinky loan like that sit around for 20 years like you're telling people around town, we have to pay this back till 2028. It's ridiculous. It's all blown out of proportion for standing up for your friend and trying to make me look bad. I'm sick and tired of people in this town bashing me and lying about me. You committed slander against me, and I deserve an apology.
I did not apologize, and Myra both apologized to Jamie, because I read the documents as well.
Excuse me, Jamie has the floor.
I just gave you
I'm
an
back.
apology. I can't hear you.
I didn't hear you either. How about if you stand up and apologize?
Well, how can you hear anything with everybody interrupting?
They're all angry. You
So
can't
am
blame
I.
people for being upset and angry. You've been lying for over a year to people about me. God knows what else you've said to people about me.
I said I apologize.
Thank you.
Paula owes her one too, because she agreed that Jamie defaulted on this, and that was baloney.
True.
It's on recording.
That last meeting, and
Well, as a
nobody
mayor,
got
she
saved.
should have shut that statement down.
So-
Yes, she should have, instead of going along with it, and she owes her an apology as well for slandering her in our last meeting.
I don't think you did.
You argued that it was
She did.
Jamie
It's on
that
recording.
signed
I
that.
have it recorded also, and nowhere did I say default.
That's fine. You just make yourself look great, Paula.
Make a motion that we adjourn.
You won't apologize for slandering her, but you'll pay somebody a raise that's still on probation for being convicted of theft.
Motion, for the, adjournment?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Well, it's done,
He beat you to the punch.
Good.
Yes, ma'am.
All in favor?
I think we got a few